Hello students, myself Meenal Deshpande. We are learning History and Civics of Standard 6 Maharashtra State Board English Medium Syllabus. Students, in our previous video, we took information about our ancient India cultural. And it is clear that ancient Indian culture was very prosperous and advanced. Today, we are going to our lesson number 11, Ancient India and the World. Our last lesson from History is Standard 6. In this chapter, we are going to study about India's contact with other civilizations and its far-reaching impact. See, two main points are here. 11.1 India and the countries of the West. 11.2 India and other countries in Asia. See students, India and the countries of the West. People of the Harappan civilization had developed trade relations with the countries of the West. Already we learned about it. And ever since then, India has had economic and cultural exchanges with the outside world also. Buddhism had spread to Afghanistan and to many countries of Central Asia. So during the period of the Iranian Empire, India's contact with the Western world increased. Contact with the Western world increased. The Greek historians of that period grew more curious about India. Their writings introduced India to the Western world, and the routes which were later used by Alexander were opened for trade between India and the countries of the West. Means whatever route, the trade route we know today, that was opened at that time. Under the influence of the Greek art of sculpture, a new form of art emerged in India during the Kushana period. So it is called Gandhara School of Art. In the Gandhara art school, images of Gautam Buddha were mainly carved. Main theme, that was Gautam Buddha's images. As these images were mostly found in the Gandhara region of Afghanistan, and the style is called the Gandhara style. See, the facial features of the statues made in the style are similar to those of the Greek people. And the early coins that were minted in India were also like a Greek coins. A sculpture in a Gandhara style on a stoop at Hatta in Afghanistan. See, around the 1st or 2nd century CE, trade between India and Rome flourished. The port in South India also had a large share in this trade. And some articles made of bronze were found in the excavations at Kolhapur. They have been made in Rome. The excavation at Arikmedu in Tamil Nadu have also brought to light many articles made in Rome. Both these places were important centers of trade between India and Rome. So many such trade centers are mentioned in the literature of those times. Okay? See. Now, Alexandria was an important port in Egypt, and the Arab merchants carried Indian goods up to Alexandria. From there, they were sent to the countries in Europe. Besides the Indian goods, the Arabs also conveyed Indian philosophy and science to Europe. So the concept of zero is one of India's major contributions to the world. Already we discussed about it, that 1 to 9 digits and 0 as well as decimal system, that both concepts were major contribution of Indians. It was the Arabs who introduced this Indian concept to Europe. Okay. See students, now 11.2, India and other countries in Asia. Many countries in Asia were greatly influenced by the Indian culture of those times. And from them, first one country, Sri Lanka. King Ashoka had sent his son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra to Sri Lanka to spread Buddhism, that we already know. Their names are mentioned in the Buddhist text Mahavamsa written in Sri Lanka. And Sanghamitra carried a branch of the Bodhi tree with her. The Sri Lankan tradition believes that the Bodhi tree at Anuradhapur in Sri Lanka has grown from the same branch. That also we know. There was a great demand in India for Sri Lankan pearls and other precious stones. In the 5th century CE, King Kashyap had caves dug out at a place called Sigiriya. The wall paintings in these caves bear a resemblance to the paintings in the Ajanta caves. Already I gave example and pictures are also here. The Sri Lankan Buddhist works Deepavamsa and Mahavamsa provide information about the close relations between India and Sri Lanka. Trade relations were also there. So they are written in the Pali language. Now, we took information about Sri Lanka, that what type of relations with that country. Now, with China and the other countries. Right from the ancient time, India and China had established trade and cultural relations. So, Emperor Harshvardhan had even sent an ambassador to the Chinese court, that we know. And Chinese silk was known as Chinin Shuka and was in great demand in India. Merchants in ancient India supplied Chinese silk to Western countries. Those merchants were there. They supplied their Chinese silk to the Western countries. So the land route by which the silk trade was carried on was called the Silk Route. Okay, that land route called Silk Route. Some ancient places in India were connected to this route, like Nalasopara near Mumbai in Maharashtra, which was one such a place. The Chinese Buddhist Bhikkhu Fa-Hien and Yuan Chuang also came to India through this Silk Route. In the 4th century CE, the Ming Emperor of China, who invited the Buddhist bhikkhus Dharmarakshika and Kashyapu Matanga to China. The bhikkhus translated many Indian Buddhist texts into the Chinese language. This gave impetus to the spread of Buddhism in China. And later on, Buddhism also reached Japan, Korea and Vietnam. See students, firstly Buddhism spread in China and after that in other countries also. Now, countries in Southeast Asia. The ancient kingdom of Funan in Cambodia was established in 4th century CE. So, evidence is available from Chinese traditions that an Indian named Kaundian established it. So, people of Funan knew the Sanskrit language, and a stone inscription of that period is still in existence. It is in Sanskrit. So in many other countries of Southeast Asia too, small kingdoms established by people of Indian origin had emerged. These kingdoms helped to spread Indian culture in Southeast Asia, and in this way our countries which are in contact with India at that time, other countries. Now, Indian culture had a deep impact on the art and cultural life of Southeast Asia. Dance, dramas based on stories from the two Indian epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, are popular in Indonesia even today also. We know that. This influence continued to increase over the years, and in the ancient period, the Buddhist religion spread to Myanmar, Thailand, Indonesia, etc. In the latter years, temples of Lord Shiva and Vishnu were also built there. See students, in this way, these type of contacts, or we can say these type of relations were there with the India and the other countries or other civilizations. This year, we have reviewed Indian history from 3000 BCE to 8th century BCE. Means from our lesson number 1 to lesson number 11. Yes or not? Now in next year, means in standard 7, we will study the history of India from the 9th century CE to the 8th century CE. And the history of this period is known as medieval period or medieval history. Okay. Now, today we focused on, or we can say we took information through 2 points, India and the countries of the West and India and other countries in Asia. Yes or not? Now, take your homework. See students, on page number 55 exercises here, and few questions are there, 6 questions are there. You have to solve that questions, means you have to write all the question and their answers in your homework book. But for question number 6, see what is the question? Mark the countries of Southeast Asia mentioned in the chapter on an outline map. For this question, what you have to do? You have to take that outline map and then fill it. Okay, and in this way solve the question and complete your homework also. Thank you.